PBY-1CS, to support his diving expeditions. His second son, Philippe, was killed in an accident in this aircraft that occurred on the Tagus River near Lisbon. The Catalina nosed over during a high-speed taxi run undertaken to check the hull for leakage following a water landing. The aircraft turned upside down, causing the fuselage to break behind the cockpit. The wing separated from the fuselage and the lift engine broke off, penetrating the captain's side of the cockpit. 38. Paul Mantz converted an unknown number of surplus Catalinas to flying yachts at his Orange County, California hangar in the late 1940s and early 1950s. A-10 are converted by Stuart Devisic to their Supercat standard. It is additionally fitted out for survey work for Geoterex Inc. Stuart Davis converted several Catalinas to their Super Catalina standard, later known as Supercat, which replaced the usual 1,200 HP, 890 kilowatts, Pratt & Whitney R1830 twin-wasp engines with Wright R2600 Cyclone 14 engines of 1,700 HP, 1,300 kilowatts. A larger, squared-off rudder was installed to compensate for the increased yaw which the more powerful engines could generate. The Super Catalina also had extra cabin windows and filtrations. 39. Chilean Air Force, FARC, Captain Roberto Parag, in his PBY Catalina FARC number 405 called Manutara, which means lucky bird in the Rapa Nui language, undertook the first flight between Easter Island and the continent of South America, from Chile, as well as the first flight to Tahiti, making him a national hero of France as well as of Chile. The flight was authorized by the Chilean president in 1951, but a second flight he made in 1957 was not authorized, and he was dismissed from the Chilean Air Force. Of the few dozen remaining airworthy Catalinas, the majority are in use as aerial firefighting aircraft. China Airlines, the official airline of the Republic of China, Taiwan, was founded with two Catalina amphibians. Platforms are folded out and deployed from Catalinas for use in open ocean fishing and mahi-mahi tracking in the Pacific Ocean. Catalina Affair. The Catalina Affair is the name given to a Cold War incident in which a Swedish Air Force search and rescue /maritime patrol Catalina, Swedish designation TP-47, was shot down by Soviet MiG-15 fighters over the Baltic Sea in June 1952 while investigating the disappearance of a Swedish Douglas DC-3, later found to have been shot down by Soviet MiG-15s while on a signals intelligence mission. It was found in 2003 and raised 2004-2005. Variants. An estimated 4,051 Catalinas, Cansos, and GSTs of all versions were produced between June 1937 and May 1945 for the U.S. Navy, the United States Army Air Forces, the United States Coast Guard, Allied nations and civilian customers. U.S. Navy. XP-3Y1 prototype Model 28 flying boat later redesignated XPBY-1, 1 built, USN Bureau number 9459. Later fitted with a 48 feet, 15 m, diameter ring to detonate magnetic sea mines. A 550 HP, 410 kilowatts, Ranger engine drove a generator to produce the magnetic field. 40. Prototype Model 28 flying boat, later designated XPBY-1. XPBY-1 prototype version of the Model 28 for the United States Navy, a re-engined XP-3Y-1 with two 900 HP, 670 kilowatts, R1830-64 engines, 1 build. PBY-1, Model 28-1. Initial production variant with two 900 HP, 670 kilowatts, R1830-64 engines, 60 build. PBY2, Model 28-2, equipment changes and improved performance, 50 build. PBY3, model 28-3, powered by two 1000 HP, 750 kilowatts. R1830-66 engines, 66 build. PBY4, model 28-4, powered by two 1050 HP, 780 kilowatts. R1830-72 engines, 33 built, including one initial as AX-PBY4 which later became the X-PBY50. PBY5, model 28-5, either two 1200 HP, 890 kilowatts, R1830-82 or 92 engines and provision for extra fuel tanks, with partial self-sealing protection. 683 built, plus one built at New Orleans, semi-aircraft to the RAF as the Catalina EVA and one to the United States Coast Guard. The PBY-5 was also built in the Soviet Union as the GST.X PBY-5A1 PBY-4 converted into an amphibian and first flown in November 1939. PBY-50, model 28-50, amphibious version of the PBY-5 with two 1200 HP, 890 kilowatts, R1830-92 engines, first batch of 124, had one 0.3 in, 7.6 millimeters, bow gun. The remainder had two bow guns, 803 built including diversions to the United States Army Air Forces, the RAF, as the Catalina IIIA, and one to the United States Coast Guard. PBY-5 other ex-PBY-5 are converted into a staff transport, with amphibious gear and nose turret removed and additional windows added. PBY-6 a United States Coast Guard PBY-5 at Turn Island in 1953. Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force PBY-6 amphibious version with two 1200 HP, 890 kilowatts, R1830-92 engines and a taller fin and rudder. Radar scanner fitted above cockpit and two 0.5 in, 12.7 millimeters, nose guns, 175 built including 21 transferred to the Soviet Navy. PBY-6 AG-1 PBY-6 are used by the United States Coast Guard as a staff transport. PB-2B-1 Boeing Canada build PBY-5 flying boat for the RAF and ACAF from 1942. 240 build. PB-2B-1A Boeing Canada build PBY-5 amphibious aircraft for ACAF from 1943. 55 build. 41 PB-2B-2 Boeing Canada version of the PBY-5 but with the taller PBN-1 fin. 67 built. Most to the RAF as the Catalina 6. PBN-1 Nomad Naval Aircraft Factory version of the PBY-5 with major modification including a 2 feet, 0.61 m, bow extension, modified hull lines and step, redesigned tip floats and tail surfaces and a revised electrical system. 155 were built for delivery to the RAF as the Catalina V, although 138 were lend-leased to the Soviet Navy as the Kilometer 1 PBV-1, a Canadian Vickers-built version of the PBY-5. 380 built including 150 to the ACAF as the Cansoa and the rest to the USAF as the OA-10. United States Army Air Forces. USAF OA-10 with crew SA-10. USAF 4th Rescue Group Hamilton AFB, California, 1952. Sold in 1958 to Cuban Air Force as 1910A10 USAF designation for the PBY-50, OA equals observation /amphibian. 105 built, 56 transferred from U.S. Navy. 58 surviving aircraft were redesignated TOA-10 on the 11th of June, 1948, equals amphibian. Search and rescue versions were designated SAT-N, SA equals search /amphibian. 42, OA-10 or shaft designation for the PBV-10. 230 transferred from the U.S. Navy. Surviving aircraft were redesignated TOA 10 on the 11th of June, 1948. Search and rescue versions were designated SAT-10. 3 additional aircraft were transferred from the U.S. Navy in 1949 as SA-10s. 42, OA-10 BISAF designation for the PBY-6. 75 transferred from the U.S. Navy. Surviving aircraft were redesignated TOA 10B on the 11th of June, 1948. Search and rescue versions were designated SAT-10B. 42, Royal Air Force. Catalina I. SAT-10 painted to resemble an OA-10A. 205 Squadron IAF Catalina is being serviced at IAF Seletar Singapore. Direct purchase aircraft for the Royal Air Force, same as the PBY-5 with 60.303 in, 7.7mm, guns, 1 in bow, 4 in waist blisters and 1 aft of the hull step, and powered by two 1200 HP, 890 kilowatts, R1830S1C3G engines, 109 build. Catalina IA operated by the Royal Canadian Air Force as the Canso, 14 build. Catalina a blend-lease PBY-5BS for the IAF, 225 aircraft build. Catalina II equipment changes, 6 build. Catalina IIA Vickers. Canada build Catalina II for the IAF, 50 build. Catalina IIA former U.S. Navy PBY-5 as used by the IAF on the North Atlantic Ferry Service, 12 aircraft. These were only amphibians that saw IAF service. Catalina I Lend-Lease PBY-5S for the IAF, 93 aircraft. Boeing Canada build PB-2B1 in Canadian service as a Catalina IVB. Catalina I Lend-Lease PB-2B1S for the IAF, some to the Royal Australian Air Force. Catalina Lend-Lease PB-2B2S for the IAF, some to the RAF. Royal Canadian Air Force. Restored Executive Canso PBV-10 in U.S. Navy colors, England 2009. Canso PB-2B1S for the ACF. 17 build. 43, 44. Canso APBV-1 and PB-2B1 amphibious aircraft produced for the ACF, A equals amphibious. 150 PBV-1 and 55 PB-2B1A build. 43, 44. Canso 2F Canso rebuilt as unarmed cargo aircraft, F equals freight. Some fitted with Rebecca transponding radar for navigation and some aircraft also carried LORAN. 45. Canso 2SR Canso rebuilt as unarmed search and rescue aircraft, SR equals search / rescue. Some fitted with Rebecca transponding radar for navigation and some aircraft also carried LORAN. 45. Other users. GST Soviet designation for transport versions of the PBY-5. Shidro Somalia Transport NAI Transport Seaplane. TP-47. Swedish Air Force TP-47 Catalina on display at the Swedish Air Force Museum in Linköping, Sweden. Swedish designation for 3 unarmed Canso amphibious aircraft purchased by the Swedish Air Force in 1948, TP equals transport. These were modified with search radars in the nose turret during the early 1950s. CA-10 in the 1950s several civilian Catalinas were converted as CA-10 cargo transport aircraft, the name being derived from the USAF A-10, C equals cargo. 42. Stuart Davis Super Catalina, Super Cat. Catalina converted to use 1,700 HP, 1,300 kilowatts, Wright 2,600 Cyclone 14 engines, with enlarged rudder and of the changes. Avalon Turbo Canso, a proposed turboprop conversion of Canso water bombers, powered by 2 Rolls-Royce Dart engines. NGAA Catalina IIA proposed modernized version of the Catalina, next generation amphibious aircraft, Developed by Catalina Aircraft Systems, which holds ownership of the PBY 5S type certificate as of 2023. The design has been proposed in civil and military versions. 46, 47, production. Deliveries of production consolidated variants to U.S. Navy only. Model production period: to Type B1 September 1936 June 193760 PBY 2 May 1937 February 193850 PBY 3 November 1936 August 1938